That's 70 gallons per day.
We researched how much a person uses, and then we chose a number that seemed to fit through the recycling of
In Montgomery County, where I live, that is the per capita average per capita. That's why I just paid my water bill, and I'm very aware of what the per capita is. So you said that, and I went, wow, that's very good.
So, how does the town you built here resemble your hometown?
It resembles our hometown because we have a wide mix of land uses: commercial, industrial, and recreational, and residential. Not all in one place, but spread out and verticalized.
And also, one other aspect I suppose you could say is that our city here and our hometown is in a desert.
Although it isn't near a sea or a nice beach. I wish it was, but
Using nuclear fusion is your primary fuel source, energy source.
No, fusion is something that fuels the heavier industries and some of the government buildings that don't have their own solar panels, such as the Magba. Other buildings, such as the mall and vertical farming unit, have solar panels integrated into these panes so that there's electricity being generated even though you don't see it. And also the darker roofs you're seeing on the smaller buildings are also coated in solar panels.
Now, nuclear fusion releases helium as part of the process. How much is it harmful to the environment over time?
no, we capture that helium to use in airships and other resources.
So we've talked a lot about technology that we use now. So you want to recap for me really quickly all the stuff that's like of the moment now that you're using in your city that has to do with, say, energy use technology. We covered a lot of that. Recap it for me real quick.
Okay, do you want to go with the energy saving devices?
Yeah. Well, I really don't. We're really talking about questions that have to be
What kind of
technological
inspired your
things.
imagination? What did you
Yeah.
take that's going on today that you
Yeah,
kind of
that's
took to the future and you're using in your city?
It's a good way to use it.
Well, we actually toured a water treatment plant down in Reno, and we saw the whole water treatment process. But that huge water treatment process still wasn't cleaning the water accurately enough, you could say, to actually use it in other residential and humane purposes. So we designed a water treatment system that actually treated it so much that you could actually drink it. One of the
So you didn't actually go to a wastewater treatment plant then? Or did you go to a water treatment plant?
we went,
Wastewater treatment plant.
we actually used a step screen that was in use there. It was actually a very efficient filter. Instead of getting clogged up as just a vertical filter would do, it would get clogged up, but then it would transport the solids into a basin. Where you could discuss it easily.
So that's where you got the idea of the step screens for your in-house wastewater treatment?
And some of the more scientific elements have come from my reading popular science and Jamie reading popular mechanics. So these are actually things that are plausible.
And I don't know if you've heard of PUR. It actually is a very profitable chemical filter that you can use today and install in your own sink. We actually thought that we could buy it and use it in this presentation, but it was just too expensive for us.
So if you all don't live near the water, where'd you get the shell?
Well, it was actually from our vacations to beaches and other places. It was actually from our friend. She let us borrow it just for this future cities.
You all, three of you built this all yourselves. How did you decide who would do what? So did like one person build the houses and one person build something else, or how did that work?
Well, we did take charge of certain elements of each thing, such as I built the mall while Jamie worked on the space elevator and Sierra constructed the vertical farming unit. Some of the buildings had actually recycled from last year's model.
So which are the recycled from last year's model?
We had a couple housing units recycled from last year's model, such as this house and that house. And we actually did an engineering class in our co-op, and we actually made a mock model, but we decided to tear all of that down and make another one instead.
Wow.
Because that model, we thought we could better, and we actually did by a lot.
You know, as you're going through, you try to figure different things out and how they fit together, and you're faced with, you know, problems, this won't work, that won't work. Give us an example of one of those and how you guys work through it and what you learn from it.
Well, there was actually one problem where Tim really wanted to phase out cars altogether and have no cars, no roads, just bicycling and such. But Sierra and I did not like that. We wanted just some cars because maybe we might be old-fashioned, but we liked the idea of having a personal vehicle. So one of our rules was majority rules. And on other ideas, Tim was the minority, and he was getting a little disappointed with some of the rules. So we changed that rule to a consensus. So we all came together and said, well, Tim doesn't want any cars because they're all petroleum based. So we said that all our cars were not petroleum based, all are electric and fuel cells, and we would slowly phase out cars altogether. And And well, that was basically the consensus.
So are you satisfied? Were you satisfied? Maybe?
Yes, I've become satisfied.
Well, one of the questions that we can ask you a lot, will come up, of course, is how you handle handicap. And one of the problems we have is if you don't have any personal vehicles, how do you deal with somebody in a wheelchair? So this is one of the issues.
We do allow them to have a smaller personalized vehicle that would have special access to our mass transit systems.
Because that's where you come in. That's where you end up with that whole problem. That's it. Thank you, guys.